Well, good evening, everybody. This is Sue, the Soggy Stamper, and I'm excited to bring you another fabulous Friday Facebook Live. It's 7 o'clock, and today we have an overcast sky, and we did have a little bit of a pretty heavy rain shower this afternoon, but eventually we're going to get summer. We had a couple of days that were nice, and now we've got the weekend. Of course, the weekend is going to be rainy. So I have a really cool technique. It's easy for a fancy fold that I want to share with you tonight. But first, I want to show you this Full of Life Designer Series paper. We won this at I won at the convention or on stage this spring, and this is really the first time I have used it, but I love the colors. Just look at this and the graphics. So there's that side, this one, and some more stripes, multicolors. I love the rainbow effect. Here's the squares, a little larger, about twice the size, and more rainbow on the back. Notice they have a bold and a subtles, which is kind of cool. Okay, so here we have oranges and greens, and we have blues and purples with corresponding swipes of ink on the back. Here we have orange and red, and we have green and blues. So there's your reds and oranges. Ah, that one has yellows and blues and greens. And then we have this starburst pattern. This is in the bold, in blues and purples. And it comes in this greens and blues. And it comes in a rainbow of colors. Oh, and the back sides. This one's kind of a brushed one. This one is like ink. And this one's like a splattered ink. So these are 6 by 6 papers. You get 4 of each design, so you get 48 sheets altogether, and they're I really like them. They're so cheerful. So our card today, I had to make a graduation card, and I wanted to do this technique, this fancy fold, and so I decided to combine it together. I'm using a retired stamp set. Hey Chuck, as far as I'm concerned, those chicken stamps are never going to go away. I will continue to use them always. What's cool about this card is to open it, you just fold it back like that. It's called a back fold. So that instead of trying to pull this up and not being able to get it to come up because you've got too much overlap, you just fold it back and open it up. Isn't that cool? And I used the squares, and this is the opposite side of the squares. So that's the first card we're going to make tonight. I'm going to make 2 because it's so quick. So I've pre-cut the designer series paper. This is 5 1/4 by 3 inches, and this one is 3/4 of an inch and 5 1/4. And you see it's just the reverse sides. For the inside of the card, this is 5 excuse me, 1/4 by 3 inches, so that you can write your greeting on it or stamp it. And this is what I'm going to be stamping for the focus piece here. And this is 2 1/4 by 3. And then the card base is 5 1/2 by 7 1/2, not 8 1/2, but 7 1/2. And we're going to score it at 3 1/4. I double check that. Okay, where did my notes go? 3 1/4, because the first time I did it, I scored it wrong. So 3 1/4. And it says it's 6 1/2. Well, the whole card length is 7 1/2. So I'm just going to, and 6 1/2 would be the score mark. So that's an inch shorter than the full length. So I just turned it around, so I don't have to take the leg out. Okay, so we're going to make a mountain fold, no, a valley fold there. Then on the back, then you fold this short one backwards. Pardon the dogs, they think somebody is here. And remember, this is 3 by 5 1/4. There's my seal. Can't believe it. I opened up 2 new packages. I had a class on Sunday. I opened up 2 packages of seal, and both of them were wound backwards. I guess every once in a while that happens. But Stampin' Up! Is so good to replace things. I'll get that lined up a little bit better. I always think things are straight, and then I look at them when they're down, and I go, oh no, that wasn't very good. And then we're going to put the narrow piece over here. So it's like that. I didn't get that down very straight. But, wait, that's the way I meant it to be, right? When you don't get it quite right, that's the way you meant it to be. Okay, now on the inside, this is going to be a birthday card. This card is graduation. You've got something to crow about, and inside I'm going to say happy congratulations on your graduation, etc. I'm going to handwrite a note in there. But this one is going to be a birthday card, and I have the Unbounded Love stamp set and the corresponding label dies. I'm going to be using this die to cut out the front. No, not on this one. I'm using the retired Hey Chuck, and here's the one you've got something to crow about. Inside I can stamp it's your birthday. So, where's it's your birthday? This little one here. Get a and I'm going to use pebbled path. It should be pebbled beach, but that doesn't alliterate well. And I always try to stamp first, so that if it doesn't get straight, I can turn it over and stamp again. While I've got the ink pad out, I'm going to stamp the square here. With the Chuck. And you've got something to crow about. When I stamped it the last time, last night when I was making the sample. I got it nice and straight. Let's see if... Yeah, good job. Good job, Sue. So that's all the stamping for this card. I'll put this on the inside to get it out of the way. And that looks pretty good. And now we'll work on Chuck. Since the colors are crazy bright colors, Chuck is going to be crazy bright as well. I've got an assortment of Stampin' Blends, my favorite way to color, because you can see through. It's more transparent a color than the Stampin' Right markers. So on the body, I decided to use one of the blends. It's a grouping of, and this is SU 800. It's kind of a light flesh color. So I'm going to do his body like that. And you see how you can see all the lines through it. All the shading and stuff that has been done there. Okay. Now this, on my sample card, I had his neck all the same color, but I'm going to do something different this time. But I do have to do tops of his legs. That. Okay, his beak and his legs are dark pumpkin pie. Light might have worked as well. Maybe a little better because it would look more orangey than this. And his beak. Oop. So when you get out of the lines, like I just did here, you grab your color lifter, and it doesn't actually lift the color, it helps push the color back. Now it may not do much with this because I've got quite a bit over, but you see how it just kind of pushes the color back into where it's supposed to be. And then it'll dry, and it'll be it's still a little bit pink or a little bit orange, but it'll dry and not be too noticeable. Okay, I'm going to use dark real red for his feathers and his tongue and his wattle. That little thing hanging down the roosters have is called a wattle. And I'm going to do it the inside of his mouth. It'll be red. I'm using the bullet end for better control of the ink. This kind of reminds me of one of those punk kids. Okay, so that takes care of that color. This is one of the new in colors. It's called Shy Shamrock. It's a green, and I'm going to use that for his eyelid. He's wearing green mascara. And one of his feathers. Tail feathers. Okay. I think he needs a blue for his neck, for sure. This is Light Azure Afternoon. It's one of the new colors in the reorganization of colors. Okay. And I think I'm going to make one of the tail feathers this color too. Okay, this one is called Dark Peach Pie. I'm going to do the color, this one, Dark Peach Pie. And finally, I'm going to use Light Berry Burst. So we have our card all done. I kind of like it better than the other one. And to adhere it to here, I'm going to use some tear and tape so that it is good and solid and won't come apart because it's going to get a lot of use. Make sure I put it on the side like that. And put it over here, kind of center it however you want it to be on your card, like that. And then you open it like so. Isn't that cool? And because of all the colors and everything, I don't think we need any embellishments on this card. And this is going to go to a boy anyway. So there's my graduation card, or birthday card this time. But I thought you might like to see this technique again in a pretty card instead of a funny card. So I have created this one. This one is a feminine happy birthday. Open it back like up there, and it says, "May all your wishes come true." And I'm using the Meadering Meadows Designer Series paper for this. I'm going to put some butterflies on it. Again, this is 5 1/4 by 3 inches for the inside of the card. This is 3 inches by 5 1/4 for the front, and this is the 3/4 by 5 1/4. And our cardstock, which is 7 1/2 by 5 1/2. I'm going to score it at 3 1/4. And then again, 6 1/2, or on this side at 1 inch, because the whole thing is 7 1/2, and 6 1/2 would be 1 inch from the end. Okay, this folds forward like so. And the other one goes backwards. And if you're ever wondering which way, after you score it, which way you're supposed to score it, you're supposed to fold it towards, so that the bulge is inside. That's what I've been told. Okay, now we're going to start with the inside like we did before. Only this time I'm going to use Memento ink. And I want this. May all your wishes come true. My Memento pad is getting a little dry, but I believe I'm out of re-ink, and it is not available quite yet for reorder. So I'm hoping this will stamp real well. Yes, looked good. I'll put this on the inside. I am so excited by this design, this fun fold, that I'm thinking about all kinds of ones I can do with my designer series papers, because the papers are so beautiful you really don't have to do anything else. But you could be really fancy and put a flower there in the front on the tag. There's all kinds of things you could do. Oops, that's running crooked. There. And put this one on the front. 5 1/4 by 3. Now on this one, I could have put the strip over here. I could have used this reverse side, but I wanted the pattern, the image of the designer series paper to follow across the whole card. Like this. So when it's closed, you have the rest of the tree. Okay, and for the label, I didn't do very much for it this time. I used a happy birthday, and I die cut it with, this is from the Unbounded Love stamp set, and the dies, Unbounded Love dies, and I used this one here. And there's some things about these dies I'd like to tell you about. I thought this die would be gorgeous to use. And then I found out that it cuts out and makes a circle, and it comes out just as a wreath. Let's see, I thought I stuck it in here with, let me see if I can find it. So it came out like this. Now what I could do, if I had a different color of it, I could adhere it down on the top of this scallop like that. That would be kind of cool. But before you cut it out, put adhesive sheet on the back, because putting little dots of glue on this would be absolutely horribly hard. Okay, so this is going to go on like that. So I want my tear and tape to be just on this edge of the label. You could use other adhesive. I think that the seal would not hold it well enough, and you could take the time to use multi-purpose liquid glue as long as you made sure that it was good and dry, or that it didn't ooze out. Let's put it that way. opens up like that. Okay, so this one, I did want to have some bling, because this is a feminine one. So I have the brass butterflies. In the online store, in the online exclusives, there is available these really pretty birds. I think maybe I'll use them instead of the butterflies this time. Birds and dragonflies. So you need to go check. My store is creationsbysue.stampinup.net, and or you go to my blog and click on the Shop Now button and check out the online exclusives. We just got some new ones in June, some new ones for June, and the idea is that they can release more product and not have to wait until a new catalog comes out. So if they get an idea for a great product, they can go ahead and send it, market it right away. So there you have it with the birds. I think that's kind of pretty too. So that was my original with the butterflies. Now we've got the birds flying in the sky. Okay, so there are the two using this technique that's called the back fold. Two different kind of characteristics of cards. You can do just about anything you want. You can make it a cute kid card. I just really love this this fancy fold or fun fold because it's just so easy and quick to make. I'll put the directions, the dimensions, and the folding and scoring stuff like that on my blog. I think to get it up there tonight. This video is going to be up on my YouTube channel, The Soggy Stamper. I'll post that as soon as it's ready. And if you have any questions, you can email me, sue@soggystamper.com. And like I said, my store is creationsbysue.stampinup.net. I'd appreciate your business if you live here in the United States and don't already have a demonstrator. And if you haven't gotten the new annual 2024-2025 annual catalog, send me an email to sue@soggystamper.com and I'd add with your snail mail address and your phone number. I'd be delighted to send you one. So, at any rate, this is Sue, the Soggy Stamper, signing off from my Fabulous Friday Facebook Live. I'll see you again next Friday at 7 o'clock. All things going well. So, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.